everybody, good evening and welcome to your very own BYJU'S 6th, 7th and 8th grade channel. I'm your teacher Aishwarya, and in our class today we are going to be revising the chapter What, Where, How and When, and we're going to quickly revise this chapter by doing your very own favorite question, that is your Menti quiz. So I hope all of you here are excited for today's class, and very quickly everybody, before we get started, please let me know if my audio, my video and my screen is visible to all of you. If it is, give me a quick thumbs up in the chat to let me know that we are good to go. So now I can see that quite a bit of you are here. You can share this link with all of your friends as well, because we are having a Menti quiz, which means that we will aim to finish it off in half an hour and not more than that, right? Short and sweet session. Good evening, Navya, Ranjana, and I can see Suryakanti. Many of you are here. I can see Anushka. Good evening, Cotton Candy. Good evening, all of you. Good evening. Yes, we are good to go. That is awesome. Okay, so now of course students, as we know, this particular chapter, the one shot for this chapter is already done and it has been completed. Now you can find this video on the playlist. You can go and you can check it out. But for today's class, also during the Menti quiz, I request all of you to have your textbooks and pens there, or textbooks and pencils with you, so that whatever important questions are there, important topics are there, I have picked those important topics and I have made the questions. So please put a star mark in your textbook, write down saying, ma'am, it is important, so that you will study. Yes? And now of course, like I said, right, as you all know, this right here is going to be very, very important. Okay, Ansh is back, and Ansh has a very important question for me, which is asking, objects that are not considered useful would be considered as a resource, because bomb is not good for society but it's good for country. Can we say like that? See, don't overcomplicate it, right? Now what is a, okay, don't think about a bomb, but think about things which are made. You know what we make. In order to make a bomb or whatever we need to make, you require resources, right? You require materials. So materials that are necessary for us to make anything, whether good or bad, is what we call as a resource. Okay, Ansh? I hope you are clear now. So now of course everybody, now this was for Ansh who had joined, but for a lot of you who are here and who are very new to the class, as you all know, BYJU'S 6th, 7th and 8th pay, we have this amazing channel where we follow this timetable for all of you. And as you all know, today is Wednesday, 6 p.m. We are having our social science classes where we're doing the revision. Next week, we're going to start off with the next chapter. So stay tuned, because we'll be doing the next chapter, which is very, very interesting. Yes? And yes, Maitri, I will do one on the Mesopotamian civilization. Maybe I'll do a recorded video. Okay, so now shall we move on? This is your Menti quiz, everybody. Yes, as we all know, please go to www.menti.com and the code is 285333710. Yes, 285333710. Yes, we will start, Ipshita, don't worry. I request all of you to go to the quiz. We have a total of 10 questions today, and that's it. We only have 10 questions, not more than that. And how about we finish these questions maybe in the next half an hour, right? We will aim for half an hour class, not more than that, right? Quickly, fatafat, easy peasy questions. We will wind it up, do our revision and end our class today. Yes, so that you have enough time to study, enough time to enjoy your vacations also, right? Because for some of you, summer vacation would have started. So I don't want to give you very heavy work. No, I want you to make sure that you are enjoying and relaxing in the class also. Yes? Hello, Nityashri. Hello. Okay. So now of course, are we ready? Total of 10 questions are here. I hope most of you have joined and we will get started, right? Very quickly we shall get started. Okay, are we all ready? Are we good to go? Shall we get started? How is the Josh in class? Are we all excited for today's class? Yes, I can see that a lot of you are here. That is amazing and brilliant. Let's get started, right? So let's get started with the first question on your screen now. Yes, in the earlier days, there were dash who hunted and gathered food. Who were these people? Were they herders? Were they craftsperson? Were they hunter-gatherers or farmers? Beluga, this is history chapter 1. We're talking about in the earlier days, way back in the early civilization, there were people who hunted and gathered food. Who were they? Yes, very good all of you. Most of you have got the answer correctly. It is called as hunter-gatherers. The name that is there is already there in the sentence, right? We know that hunter-gatherers were the earliest people who would hunt for food, right? And they would also gather roots and fruits and other parts which they could consume, right? So as we all know, we know that they are called as hunter-gatherers. Ansh, this is a very tricky question. It's a little scandalous question. I will answer you in the comments of this video, okay? So now moving on to question number 2, everybody. Quickly on your screens. Are we all clear with what are hunters and gatherers? Hunter-gatherers concept is clear for all of you, right? Easy peasy. Yes? Very good, all of you. Very good. I can see most of you have got the answer here. So now let's quickly move on to the next question, okay? Next question is, along which river bank did people settle in ancient time? So we know that earlier people were nomads, but then we saw that after one point they decided that they have to settle along river banks. So where did they settle? Was it along Narmada, Mahanadi, Kaveri or Tungabhadra? Code is 285333710, Suryakanti, 285333710. Now we are talking about where they settled, and very good all of you, very good. The correct answer here is Narmada, because we know that many years people were walking around from one place to another. They were called as nomads, but along earlier civilization they realized that if they settled in and around the rivers, the land was very fertile, and because the land was very fertile, they were able to become farmers, they were able to practice agriculture, and they were able to fend for their needs, which is why we saw that along the rivers they were able to settle. Yes? Okay, moving on to question number 3. The leaderboard is going to come after 5 questions. Yes? So let's quickly move on to question number 3, everybody, on your screens now. So which city was established on the banks of river Ganga? Yes? Now this is a very important question, especially on an examination point of view. This question can come in your exams, which is why I am not saying study right now. Just put one star next to this in your textbook. Okay, that is all I would say. Vindhyas, is it Magadha, Sulaiman and Kirthar, or is it Garo? Which city was established in the banks of Ganga, right? Very good, all of you, very good. Some of you got confused with Vindhyas, right? It's not the Vindhyas, that's in the central part of our country, yes? But along, if you talk about the city which was established along the river Ganga, it was the city Magadha, right? And at this moment it lies in Bihar region. So correct answer here is option B, which is Magadha. Now I am not saying that you will all have to remember this, right, at the moment, because I know you have vacations. But see, put a star mark, because when you are studying for unit test 1 or when you are studying for midterms, they will ask you this question, and at that time you should not be like, Aishwarya ma'am told me in class, but I did not do it at that point and now I regret it. No, should not be like that. So put a star mark in your textbook. Saying important, that's all. It's okay if you got it wrong also, not a problem. Just put a star mark there. Yes? Okay, so let's quickly move on to question number 4, everybody. Let's have a look at question number 4 on your screens now. Okay, so our next question is, crops such as wheat and barley were first cultivated at the dash. So where exactly were crops cultivated? And this was way back in 8,000 years. Second page of your textbook, you have the answer given, right? Is it Vindhyas? Is it at the Sulaiman and Kirthar region, Garo Hills or Kaveri? Which hills? I am giving you the hint now. Where exactly were these crops first cultivated? And I said, right, wheat as well as barley. Okay, I can see all of you have voted for the answer. Lot of mixed answers which have come to me, which is very interesting. But at the end of the day, let me tell you, correct answer is option B, right? Because way back in 8,000 years, second page of your textbook, everybody, open and you check. We see that especially at the Sulaiman Kirthar Hills, which is at the moment located in current day Pakistan, we see that people settled there, where we see that first they began farming, right? And then they grew crops like wheat and barley, and they also domesticated animals, goats, sheep, and other cattle. Yes, so we see that this was done way back 8,000 years ago, which is why I stressed on the word 8,000, because we know that when we talk about it, it was located at the Sulaiman and Kirtar hills. I know I say at the end of the day a lot, so I will try to reduce. That's actually my 21-day challenge for myself, where I don't say this a lot. And I realize that in class I say this quite a lot. At the end of the day. So I need to be a little more careful with that. Well, not a problem. Now, those of you who were confused, are we all clear? Yes? Are we all clear? See, now 4 questions we did. They were very simple questions, no? But at the same time, they were also very important. Yes, Mehuli? Yes. Okay. Now, I will take a minute to answer my very inquisitive bacha in class, Ansh. Ma'am, if the object is not considered valuable by society, will it be... See, Ansh, don't overcomplicate the thought of resource, right? What is resource? Resource at the end of the day is anything which is said to be to make anything, right? Don't overcomplicate how you are thinking a resource. Now you are thinking of it on a negative aspect also, right? Now what if you use it for bad? Now that is a person or an individual's choice of how to use the resource, yes? But at the same time, if I'm able to make something out of it. Now it's one thing that I use it for bad, but if I use it for a lot of things, or if I make something out of it, then it is a resource, okay? Let's think of it in a simple way, okay? Ranjot, if you've not understood anything, let me just tell you one thing. Have you watched the explanation for this chapter? If you have watched the explanation for this chapter and then you have come here, I understand that maybe you are not able to follow. But if you have not watched the explanation, I request you to go and watch the explanation so that it is easy. Okay? Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next question. Okay? Now, I'm saying okay a lot. I have to control my filler words. Moving on to the next one. The word India comes from the Indus, called as Sindhu in Sanskrit. Now, is this statement true or false? I am listening to you, Ranjot. I am listening to you. So this is a true or false question. 1 mark to zarur aayega in exam. Yes? Very good, all of you. Very, very good, right? We know that this particular statement is true. Now, there is one more word in which we identify our country. Can you tell me what is the other name for our country by which we identify it? We call it our country is called by 2 names. One is India. The other one is what? Can you tell me? Hindustan, yes, but one more. Something with B. Very good, Ipsita, Maitri. Many of you have got. Someone said Indonesia. No, not Indonesia. What is this? Very good. Exactly. It's called Bharat, not Indonesia. So, of course, our country popularly has 2 names. It is India and Bharat, right? And we know that the word India comes from the river Indus. And we see that it's also called Sindhu in Sanskrit. And Bharat was used for people who lived in the northwestern part of our country. Yes? So, these are 2 things you have to remember. So now we will have our first leaderboard. See, 15 minutes pe 5 questions are done. Abhi next 15 minutes pe we will wind up the remaining questions. Yes? So right now I can see Kathy is on top with 4,712 points, followed by Zera. Then I have Akshaj Verma, the 6th grader. I have Samriddhi. I have Maitri, 6th class 6. Mohammad Hamid. Then I have Riddhi, Shakti, Shriya Nair, and Ankit Rai, 7th grader, who is the fastest. Okay. So well done, all of you. Well done. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Anj. Okay. Alright, Ansh Bacha, you should not spam like this, okay? That's what happens. You will keep spamming and then after that, moderator will put you in timeout. And then later you will tell me, ma'am, moderator put me in timeout. I am reading your questions, so don't worry. Yes, I'm reading your questions in chat. Moving on to the next few questions. So are we ready? Yes? Are we all ready for the last 5 questions for today? Okay, Samriddhi is very happy because she's on the leaderboard for the first time. That is awesome. And look at it, right? At this way, we are also able to revise the whole chapter. We are looking at all the important concepts of the chapter. So this way, even with the explanation slides in your textbook, see, as much as Menti and everything is fun and games and all of that is fine, putting that aside, let me tell you one thing, right? One thing is that you will have to have your textbooks open with you, because I'm also telling you what is important. Mark it once and then you never have to worry, right? Then you always have it with you. So make sure your textbooks are there with you as well. So moving on, let's go to question number 6. Mehuli, you will be in the leaderboard. Don't worry, okay? In ancient times, dash were written on palm leaves by hand. What was it? Were they inscriptions? Were they religious books? Was it manuscripts or textbooks? What was written on palm leaves by hand? Can you tell me? Easy peasy question. And this topic is very important. Questions on this particular topic will come. Pakka. They'll ask you two mark questions, 3 mark questions. They can come in your exam. Okay, all of you, very good, very good. Most of you have got the answer correctly, but some of you got confused with inscriptions. See, what are manuscripts? The word manu in Latin actually means hand, right? So they are handwritten documents, and we see that they are normally written on palm leaves and on the bark of birch trees. So this right here is super important to understand. Inscriptions, on the other hand, are done on hard surfaces like rocks or stones. So that is the main difference. Now, of course, I can see most of you have gotten little confused, but many of you got the answer correctly. So well done. Now, before I go ahead to the next set of questions, I hope all of you have hit the subscribe button on this channel, and I hope that you've hit the subscribe button on this video. And if you enjoy these questions, and if you do know, you have to hit the like button on this video. Yes? So fatafat, make sure you hit the like button. Let me see how many likes are there, because I see that not many of you are there, so you can quickly like the session. Yes? Okay. Very good, all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anushka and Vishnu, Priya, and many of you are saying, "Ma'am, done and subscribe." That is amazing. Please make sure you share it with all of your friends as well. So let's move on to the next question. Yes, which among the following options is true? Everybody, 4 options are here, out of which only one answer is correct. Take your time and read the options. Don't be in a hurry to solve. Take your time and do it. Yes? So your options are: manuscripts are writings on hard surfaces like metal or stone. Manuscripts are written in Hindi. Manuscripts have been preserved for centuries. Okay. I can see many of you have gotten confused, right? It took 6 seconds, but it's okay. Manuscripts are written. Just now we had a question which said that manuscripts that are there, they are written on palm leaves. And I told you inscriptions are the ones which are written on hard surfaces like metal or stone. So the first statement is false. Manuscripts are not written on hard surfaces like metal and stone. Second one is manuscripts are written in Hindi. Absolutely not. It's written in Sanskrit. Now next one is manuscripts have been preserved for centuries. No, we know that many manuscripts that are there have been, many of them were destroyed because of climatic conditions, right? We know that sometimes because they were written on leaves and everything, insects destroyed them, because of climate something happened. So many manuscripts have actually been destroyed. They have not been preserved for centuries. But we know that manuscripts that are there have been based on medicine, religion, science. Some poems have been written. So this statement is true. Yes? So are we all clear? Are we all clear with this? Because most of you got confused. Yes? So are we all clear? This question was quite a tricky question, but I see that all of you have learned something from this question. And that is what is important. Not that you went wrong in the question, but wherever you went wrong, you have to understand it properly. So now let's move on to the next question, which is question number 8, right? Last 3 questions. Question number 8, everybody, on your screens now. Okay? So the next question is very simple. Who are historians? Who are these people called as historians? People who study the past, people who study the future, people who study the present, or are they people who study current events? Who are historians? Easy peasy. Ma'am, okay. Now, Ansh, I will take your question. 1 minute. Many of you have got the answer correctly. Very good. People who study the past, right? So we know that a historian is a person who studies and who writes about the past, and he writes about the evidences that we got from the past, and of course he has items which are acted as records of the lives of the people in the past. So that's his main job, right? Now let's move on to question number 9, second last question for the day, right? Easy peasy question. Second last question. The question is, people who study objects that were made and used in the past are dash. Historians, geologists, archaeologists or biologists. Yes? Yes, Maitreyi, I do teach geography as well. Primarily I teach geography. Yeah. So now of course here I can see most of you here have got the answer. I can see most of you know, they're all giving me the answer. Someone is telling historians. Just now we know what a historian is. Very good, all of you. Very, very good, right? So as we all know, historians who are here are people who study the past. But archaeologists are people who study objects that were made and used in past. So you should know difference between an archaeologist and a historian, because they both work hand in hand to help us understand the subject history. Yes? So very, very important. Now Ansh, I think your message got blocked, but you were asking me, ma'am, if we have a resource, how exactly do we understand? See Ansh, I'm telling you, think about it let me take our friend Ansh's question, who's very interested about resources, right? So when you talk about resource, first of all, Ansh, they are 6th graders and it's an 8th grade concept, so I'm just telling you. Resource that is there. For example, if this is a mobile, right? I am able to use this mobile. I am able to get some benefit, but there are some disadvantages of it also. But there are some uses that we can get out of a mobile. And then we also know that, from this particular mobile, we know that many people are able to use it. There is technology that is feasible for usage. And then of course, we also know that from this, it's culturally acceptable. So it is a resource, right? So that is what we understand by a resource. I hope now we are clear, Ansh. I have given you an example because you've been asking me this question. You've been asking me this question for quite some time, which is why, I'm letting you know, right? So that's one reason why I am letting you know about this. Okay. Now, Rida, that's not for you. Okay, Rida, no, it's not for you. Rida, I was just telling about Ansh, who had a very, very important doubt from another chapter. He's your senior, right? Okay. Yes, Ansh, but what was your doubt? That's what I'm not able to understand. Can you send it once again? Now you send it to me once again, okay? Yes. No, Ansh is a very curious child. That's the only thing. So very quickly, everybody, let's move on to the last question. Okay, let's move on to the last question that is there. I'll finish the question and tell you this. Yes? So last question for today is going to be an easy peasy question, which is, in which language were the manuscripts written? Very, very easy, right? Is it Sanskrit, English, Hindi or Tamil? Okay, very good, all of you. Very, very good. The correct answer is Sanskrit, right? So we know that manuscripts that are there are written in Sanskrit. Ansh, give me 2 more minutes. I'll explain it to you. I got your doubt. Sorry, I was misreading it the whole time. So now, of course, let's have a look at the final leaderboard, right? So let's see what the final leaderboard says. Okay. So here I can see that on top I have Kathy, who has made it to the top. Well done, all of you. Very good. Then I have Samriddhi, who's in the 2nd place. Then I have Riddhi, Shriya, somebody whose name I'm not, Akshaj. Then I can have Ankit Rai, Maitreyi, Ansh Chabra, okay, and Hani, who has made it to the top. So well done, all of you. Well done. Yes? Okay. Suryakanti, what is the trouble? Please tell me. Yes? Many of you have got 33rd place and 5th place, 37th position. Okay, very good, all of you. Very, very good. Okay, yes, got it. Give me 2 minutes. Nothing like I have any. See, one more thing which I will discourage in class. Yes, one thing I will say is I don't have a concept of favorite student. Okay, all my students are my favorite. Please understand that. See, all of you are very excited and you're very enthusiastic, okay? And as I'm going to spend 1 year with you, I'm going to love all of you equally. So please never ever say that I have this favorite and that favorite, because you are all my favorite. You are all equal to me. You are all my students. Yes? And my intent at the end of the day is to make sure that you understand concepts well, right? So do you all understand what I teach you? Do I make sure that you all understand the concept well, you understand the topic well? Do you all get that when you come in my class? If you are able to understand that, then I have made sure that I have done my job. Yes? Okay. Now for geography, give reason is very important. Questions for give reason they will ask you. So you need to know why the reason is. Yes? Moving on to, okay. Now I got the question. See, Ansh, let me tell you, in 10th standard you will learn this. There are many resources where you categorize it. But sometimes what will happen is there will be a resource which is culturally acceptable, which is very good economically, but there is no technology available. Now, there's no technology to utilize the resource. It is not that we will say it is not a resource. It is not as simple as saying, okay, I have something with me. This can be a resource. This can be not a resource. It is not like that. There are various categories of resource. You have stock, you have potential, you have developed resource, you have different types of it. So what we are going to do is we will put it in each category. So I feel what you need to understand is that it is not black and white. It is not that, okay, these three categories are there. Everything is tick, tick, tick. Okay, it's a resource. Or maybe you can say that maybe cross, cross, cross. No, then it goes that way. So, and yes, if you learned it in class 10 chapter 1, then you know that if there is no technology available, it can either be a stock or a potential resource. Yes, which means in the future I will be able to use it. Okay. And NCERT solutions is going to be coming to you very soon in the weekend, but it will not be a live session. It will be a recorded session so that you can write down the answers very easily. Yes, so that is what we are going to be doing. Okay, so with this everybody, how to find give reason questions. Maitri, you can go to the BYJU'S website and you will be able to find a lot of questions, or even in the app you will be able to get a lot of questions for social sciences. But at the same time, if you want to have specific resources, you can get other books, but I recommend that you don't do it right now. Ma'am, you mean video? Yes, I mean video. I will shoot a video. I will record the video and I will do. Okay? So that it's easy for you. No, I will not take 45-50 minutes of class. 15-20 minutes mein ho jayega. Your time is also utilized. You can keep pausing the video wherever you need to do and you can write the answer. Man-made, human resource and human-made. Yes, human resource is a resource which we create. For example, human resources I would say are, for example, a community, right? Or an individual. If I am an individual, I am a human resource. I am able to contribute to all of you by teaching history, by teaching biology, by teaching geography. I am a human resource. But if I make this phone, or if I make a building, or if I make a bridge, that is something I am creating. That is a human-made resource. Yes? Okay. So with this, of course, everybody, I think manuscripts, Palak, once again I will tell you, manuscripts are those which are, you know, handwritten records which were written on palm leaves, they were written on, you know, the bark of birch tree, it was written on palm leaves and it was written by hand to keep a record of what was happening, right? And it was mainly written in Sanskrit and it was kept as a record of what happened then. So that is what we mean by manuscript, right? Okay, Ridhima, we will go ahead with that much later, yes, but for now I think we will be winding up. And no, I don't teach chemistry. Kriti ma'am teaches chemistry. I teach you biology. I will be teaching you geography. I'll also be teaching you biology, yes. So with this everybody, I will make separate videos on some of the doubts that you are having, but for now I will have to wind up. I will see you all soon, but before that, if you enjoyed what I did today, do not forget to hit the subscribe button on this video. Don't forget to like this video. Any doubts that I know that I can see some doubts coming, let me know in the comments of this video. I will reply to you personally. Yes, thank you so much everybody for being a part of today's class. I will see you soon, but up until then, take care, lots of love, and bye bye.